So can you just, for the folks who don't know you, just introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Zap Mama, and I'm an artist from Europe, and I represent the music of the Afro-European sound.
That's nice. We've been trying to ask people about sense of place, you know, where the artists come from, the place that the artist comes from.
Okay.
I mean, everybody lives in mass-mediated culture. You know, you've probably eaten fast food, and I have too, you know. And I know this, I think I know the answer to this question for you, but do you think, I mean, obviously your music comes out of a particular sense of place or not? Is it a multi-place for you?
It's a multi-place. My music comes from multi-place. Originally, I started doing only voices. It was an a cappella band back in 1990. And it was especially music inspired by the Congolese music, especially the northeast, people from living near the forest and in the forest, called the Pygmies, Babanzele. That's where my mother are, the background of my mom. And as a child, I grew up with this sound and this kind of melody and polyphony, polyphony. It's a multi-sound that multi-people doing, like everybody do a sound and become a melody. And I say, when I went to the jazz school, nobody talked about these technique vocals that they had, yodel and all this polyphony. And I said, somebody need to bring that to the musical world. And I decided to do it. And I started with voices because that was easy for me. And the tribe of my mom and the Pygmy was doing only vocals and percussion. That I created this band called Zap Mama, 5 women. And we did this sound during 5 years, and after I decided to introduce musician, because a lot of musicians wants to be part of this polyphony, and I introduced first bass and a drum, and after I add more instrument, and now I'm gonna play tonight with the DJ, keyboard, bass, drum, guitar, and vocalist.
How many albums have you made?
6.
Sorry. And I've heard people say, other artists say, you know, like sculptors say, the seed for the next work is always in the work that you're working on. In other words, I mean, we live in the moment. You know, each album is kind of an experiment. But do you feel like you've moved from that a cappella thing to where you are now, just album by album in a way?
Yes, it's like a tree. We have a lot of branch, and it's like a new branch open, and the fruits will be good for the people who are gonna listen to it. And I don't know until when my tree will be big, but the source is always from the same place.
You know, I read you said in one place that the American beat is a revolution all over the world,
yes,
but at the source of it is Africa. I mean, could you talk a little bit about polyrhythm in your music? I mean, do you think it's really more an African thing, or is it really a hybrid of African and European?
But when you learn and you read about the history of jazz, a lot of we read that it's everything comes from somewhere born in Africa and arrive with the history. That's a lot of multi things. And we talk about rhythm, and I was in this jazz school and said, what about the sound? Because sound is music also. What about the vocal sound? And they have no answer for me. That I decided to look by myself about the sound, and the book cannot answer me any documentary. That I decided to go back, stay in the forest with the Pygmies, stay with different tribes from Africa, from West Africa to East Africa, learn from them, learn from the old people, the ancestors, because it's an oral tradition, it's not written down, because it's the contact they have with the sounds and the melody, polyphony, it's spiritual also, it's a kind of ritual that I receive, the little I receive, because I was supposed to stay like years and years to really get it. Then I don't like this word, but superficially take what it's enough to be able to explain or to play with it. And I said, I first started in the jazz world, that I know they will understand straight in. And I said, but people need to know more about it. And I decided to create more pop music, that this sound can be introduced to pop music, and it's why I'm be able to work with Erykah Badu and The Roots. They opened the door for the urban world, and they loved my sounds. These little sounds I do with the bottle, with as the Pygmy did. Pygmy take branches and alternate sounds, and I take from our jungle, the urban jungle, and I take these little bottles. It's our jungle. That's, you know, and I try to represent the best I can with the history of me and the background from. I'm born in the middle of the forest. I'm born in the middle of the Pygmies. And when I grew up at age 18, I knew that something called me back over there. And I asked them, the Pygmies, you bring something, you save our family, you save a lot of Belgian people. What do you want me to do? Talk about us all over the world. And it's why I do that sound and introduce that in music.
I'm going to bear down on that a little bit because...
You only get one more question.
Okay, I'm sorry. But then I want to ask you that one. Is this your first time in Newport?
Yes.
And just thinking of this place, have you seen the stage and anything yet? Yeah.
Not yet, I just...
A little bit of the town?
Yes.
Well, then this question won't work, but too much. But do you... I was trying to see what you felt about this place walking into it.
But my first question is what is this? I ask a person over there, what is this? And I would like to know more, and I will do my own research, and I will have the answer. I think it's bring you, open your imagination, because this fort can inspire you a lot. Why it's like this, and I start my own movie, you know?
We're asking people too, if you're willing to do it, to thank JVC for sponsoring this. They've been a sponsor for years and years and years. I don't know if you know much about JVC or...
I know the JVC relate to jazz festival. That's the good things, because that works. Is the sponsor that I know JVC jazz. They have the same beginning, JJ.
Yeah. Can I do one more? Just, I don't think people actually know the specifics of your biography and about your dad and the whole thing. Could you just lay that out for people real quickly?
Yes, my background is, my father is Belgian, my mother is Congolese. I am born in Congo, and when it was the rebellion, we have to escape because they killed all the Belgian people, the colon. And my mother escaped with my father in the forest. And then we be protected by the Pygmies. And not only my father, a lot of people from Belgium. And after we have to wait that the plane came from Belgium to save all the Belgian people. And my father said, I have to go back to finish with the deal. I don't know what was it. And they catch him. And the rebels was the young soldier, kids, 14 years old, with machete and guns, and they broke his legs and arms, and threw him in the river, Crocodile's River. And my mom wait until the last minute. She had to escape, and she waited 5 years. And after we declared that he was disappeared, and it's a friend of my father was a prisoner with him. They didn't cut his legs, that he escaped, and the crocodiles don't get him. That we have his witness from him. That's it.
And you were in womb at the time. You were in your mother's womb, right? I mean,
I was just born. My father had a chance to help my mother to give birth, but my mom take care of me and escape with me everywhere. That I think the attraction for the sound come from there. And I think they give a lot of hope on the little just baby born. And it's why at 18 years old, something in me says, you have to go back there. And I went and I look at the river where my father was, and it was hard and very deep. And from there, I knew that I will become a musician, because I didn't know. I arrived there, the sounds, it said, go, and sing all over the world.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.